The Jenn Royster Show, intuitive guidance to inspire your life, is an inspirational hour that'll take you on an epic metaphysical journey to discover the spiritual approach to life's greatest challenges. Dr. Jenn Royster is an internationally known intuitive counselor, spiritual teacher, and energy healer. Imagine having the ability to use your innate positive energy to dissolve the stuckness in your life, whether it's emotional, physical, or spiritual, through this incredible dynamic show. Get ready to be transformed from Dr. Jenn's live guided healing meditations and intuitive readings, and unveil the power of connecting to spirit, the angels, and your higher self. Dr. Jenn is passionate about helping you find the answers you're looking for through an inward journey that'll strengthen your connection to spirit and help you trust your intuition. Now, here's your host, Dr. Jenn Royster.
Hello everyone, welcome to the show. I'm Dr. Jenn, and today we're going to talk about an interesting date that's coming up Tuesday, February 22nd of 2022. It is in numerology. We're going to discuss the 2 energy. This is lining up 6 2s, and there's a 0 in there that magnifies. So we're going to talk about that today, and the law of attraction, the manifesting. What does it mean in numerology? So there's always these different codes and energy aligned with numbers, and a lot of times people will see sequences of numbers repeatedly. We have angel numbers in there, but we're going to look at both angel number and numerology for the number 2. We're focusing on the 2 because there's so many 2s in February. And we did have a big number on February 2nd, so that's a 2-2. 2, whatever. And now we have another one on the 22nd. So what does all that mean? That's what we're going to talk about today. It's interesting when you start diving in to numerology or astrology if you're not that familiar with it, because these are just keys to the universe, really. Numbers are considered keys to the universe, and there's these energies with it, and the universe is communicating with us sometimes with these numbers and these sequences. So if that's something that you keep seeing, why are you seeing it? Now, I'll give frequencies and different numbers and different energies and sequences and things like that. Sequences. So there we go. I'm getting frequency and sequence. That was a new word. Anyway, we're working with that. If you see something repeatedly, it's interesting to go see what that's about. Maybe the universe is trying to get your attention about something. A common one is the triple ones, like 1111, or the 4 ones. A lot of people will see that. Well, if a number 1 is about the self. Number 1, if you see a lot of 1s, it's about you working on you. This year is a number 6 or 2 year. Those 2 numbers go together. And it's interesting because that's more about, this whole entire year is more about our inward reflecting outward in relationship with others. And it's particularly this month. Last week, we talked about some interesting energy that was lining up with Venus and Mars and the full moon, which we're still in that energy right now. So then on Tuesday, we have this coming up. This is a law of attraction and manifesting opportunity. So I'm going to go over all kinds of cool stuff about what this means. And we have the live chat open on my YouTube channel. That's where we're streaming live, if you want to join us over there. So I'm going to welcome everyone. But let me get to this, because what a cool pattern. You don't see that very often because it's a 2022 year. We have so many of them lining up. This is 6 2s. That's a power code in numerology. That's pretty strong. So if we look at the energy of the 2 and what all that means, that's what we're going to do. So first of all, I always like to create affirmations, and I put them in the post, I put them in the descriptions for the show, but I do that every week. I want to come up with something with the theme of the show, and to help you just kind of process and absorb what we've been talking about. So in this one, it's the affirmation for this week is, I align my inner thoughts and feelings to manifest healing, happiness, and success in my life. Yes. In turn, I attract healthy relationships, opportunities, and harmony with others. I really like that one for just overall all the time, but it was really applicable for this week and this topic. So here we go. Let's talk about this a little bit. So like I said a moment ago, numbers are considered to hold creation. They're the keys to the universe. They're part of creating. So when we find that we're drawn to certain numbers, or maybe we keep seeing them, or we're seeing a combination, or you're seeing a repeating number, this is something that is in numerology you pay attention to, because is your inner world in harmony with your outer world? That's what you're looking for. What is going on with my inner world? That's you yourself, you know, your inner world, your soul self. This is a connection and a communication with who you are, what's going on. Are you in alignment in your outer world? Is it reflecting? Because everything that comes from within, you know, we reflect back and forth on each other. Well, this affects things. With this number 2, it's a little bit more about how that's panning out. Our inner world and outer world, are they in sync? Or are they in conflict? Things like that is what this is about. The number itself, number 2, by itself, let's just look and break it down a little bit. Number 2 is about duality. It's about working with others. It's about harmony. It's about creating that harmony, that relationship with others, and that inner outer world within yourself. It's this harmonizing, working together, being connected in a unified kind of way. So I found that interesting. So like I said, if number 1 is about the self, number 2 is all about how yourself is interacting with the world around you. You see? So what if you were seeing 1, 2, 1, 2, or 12, 12? Yep. How's your inner self reacting with your outer world? If you're seeing a lot of 2s, if you're seeing 1s, it kind of gives you an idea of where the universe is trying to get you to focus. Like maybe if you're just seeing 1s, you need to work on the self a little bit and heal there. And then when you have the 2s coming in, and it's interesting because as a collective, we're all working with 2 energy, okay? In numerology, if your life path is a 2 and you break down to an 11, that's considered a one of the master numbers. Things like that, you know, different things like that with numerology can come into play here. But when you see number 2 showing up a lot, again and again, or a lot, whether it's in combination with another number or repeatedly, like several of them in a row, that could be a sign from the universe telling you it's time to think about the health, the harmony of the relationship you have with others, the world around you. Yeah, it's a sign to align them, the inner and outer world, you see. So if the world is reflecting, it's a reflection of what's coming from inside us. Remember, we talk about energy. We can only give the world what we have inside. So what we have in our energy, our frequency, our alignment, when it comes to law of attraction, that reflects out. So if the world is a reflection of our inner world, then that means we're co-creators in the reality that we are looking to be in. We're seeking that balance. We're seeking, like, wait a minute, am I cutting myself short here? Am I not realizing the magnitude of the power within me to create my reality the way I want? To make things better? Do we feel that we are empowered to do that? What is the relationship you have with yourself? Do you trust yourself? Do you respect yourself? Which is why I've been focusing on making sure people are thinking about their self-care and their self-love. That's important. I mean, if that's something new to you and you come from a school of, you know, put everybody first and then whatever's left, that's what you get, and there's nothing left for you, that's not balanced. That's not balanced. That's not healthy for anybody. That's not good for you. How can you be there and if you don't have anything left? So that is important. I have a self-care program if you want to go look at it. I put the link there. if you want to go look at it, because I feel like it's so important this year, right now, in this moment, over the next month. We have this opportunity in this entire year to really set the course for where we want to go. It's important. It's important that we know how to do that. So I put a lot of extra time. I sidelined some other things to make sure I put it out there, because I do want to make sure you have that opportunity to create a self-care program that will help you, because it really relates to this topic with all this going on right now. It started with this full moon, really. So this is very similar to the idea around law of attraction, okay? So law of attraction is about whatever we're focusing on, whatever vibration we're resonating with, that's what we attract toward us. That's how that spiritual law of attraction, that's in a nutshell. It's our focus. I mean, everything is a energy. Your mind, your thoughts, your feelings. Yeah, sometimes we forget that the feelings too. But we have, what are we focusing on? Are we focusing on the worst case scenario or the best outcome? It doesn't mean that things don't come up and challenge you. It means, how are you handling them when you do? Because life is life here. But if we are living in a state of everything that's going to go wrong, that's all you're going to see pop up. So if this is similar to law of attraction, and this number 2 is about the manifesting and all connected with that, what are we focusing on? What frequency are we resonating with? And if you do find that you're going down into more of a negative or fear-based vibration, you can always find a way back up, even if it's one step at a time. Find something that you can click with. You may have to take your mind off the topic completely, and that's how that can work. This would be very good at this time for everybody to think about it, because this power code's coming up. It's really going to ramp up. It's like, okay, here we go. How are you going to be a player, a participant in the universal energy that's coming through? It's not always black and white, okay? It's not always, okay, there's this, I'm going to think about this, and that's going to happen. Here's the other part that comes into play with that. You focus on it, but do you believe it? Do you believe it? You're like, oh, I'd really love that, but that probably won't happen. It's like the second afterthought. That would be something to work with, but then you take little steps toward what is believable. That helps the mind start to accept. Because we have this consciousness, this physical ego that we have fighting against what the soul's trying to do. The soul has no fear. Your soul, the universe, they're very connected here. And that's what we want to listen to, because that knows exactly where you can go and soar and be. And then we have this ego part, and that's the challenge here. And everybody feels it, even all of us that have really been into this for a long time. You always feel this second guessing, or it tries to make you self-doubt. How are you handling that? That's what you want to look at. If you're just going, oh, forget it, never mind, it won't work. That's what you believe, it won't work. But then I could take a little step. I could just learn a little bit more about that topic, and maybe I could find a way through it. There's always a way. And that's what I love working with angels. They always remind me, oh, there's always a possibility. There's always an answer. You may or may not be ready for the answer. You may or may not want to take action, because in law of attraction, that's another participant part, very important part. You can think about it all day long, but are you taking action? Usually the action comes behind believing it's possible. So there's a sequence there with that. If we're co-creators, that means that our personal vibration is what you want to look at. So this number here is working, it's very law of attraction here. It's very similar. We're working with our personal vibration that creates the world we live in, that creates what we have coming toward us. It's also about a collective vibration right now with all these twos, because we've been in a collective energy where we're all growing together through things for the last few years. And this year, remember in astrology, it's been saying all along, this is a healing year. This is a year where we're going to find a way to work together. You may or may not see that, whatever you focus on reading every day. I'm not saying you're not going to see all that opposition. It's out there, but you have choices, what you're going to focus on and put your energy to. So there you go with that. So if number 2 is reminding us that we are all part of this universe, we are part of it. What's our relationship with the universal mind? With the what is that? Have you thought about it that way? That is sometimes called God. That is sometimes called the universal mind. That is sometimes called the source. It's just different, approaches have a different name for the same energy I'm talking about. That is the unconditional love. That is the most powerful energy of all. And it plays an important role here. It's a reminder. If it's reminding us, if that number 2 is reminding us that, wait a minute, we're part of this. We're not excluded. We're not being left out of anything. But are we taking action to participate? Are we taking action to listen? So that's what that is. If this reminds us of what we do, what we think, how we feel, can ripple out into the world, into the collective, into all of us, that really makes us stop and think, what can I do to make things better? The power is within what you do, what you think, what you put out there. Just think if the whole world was doing that. Wow, wow, wow. We wouldn't have any lessons to learn here, would we? It would just be so picture perfect. But that's, we're here to learn and grow. So we will see challenges. Co-creators, if we're co-creators with the universe in our reality, this is where law of attraction comes in. This is where this 2 is reminding us we need to seek out the harmony in our relationship with our inner and outer world, the harmony in the health of our relationships with others. Are we getting along? Are we working it out? As a collective, I feel like the whole world is going through that together. And then as an individual, you'll have what you're going through with it. It might have been the theme for your life path this time. It just depends on how that lines up for you. So co-creators, we're working in harmony here with spirit, the universe. We're working with our higher self. That's all connected here. That's you really having that relationship and connecting and listening to that side of you that knows exactly why you came here, exactly what you're capable of, what your potential is, and how to get there without the fear. Oh, to me, that is a reason in itself to just want to connect to that. Sometimes events don't match what we're trying to attract. That is going to happen. You're looking at, oh, it must not be, and this is what people will do sometimes when they're new with it. Sometimes like, oh, it's not working for me. I attracted the complete opposite. Don't feel that way. If that happens, and it does happen to all of us, okay, I want to put some reality into that. If, say, you're focusing on something and the complete opposite happens, is the universe trying to give you a nudge or give you some information here? Also, what can you learn from it? And it's not that you're not working or trying on it. It is starting to, it might need to do some breaking apart of old ways, old habits, old beliefs to bring it out. So you're looking at how you're handling it when it does come through. Are you losing faith as soon as it's not right in front of you? Do you believe before it's in your life? Things like that. Or what law of attraction it'll remind you like, okay, well, let's see if you're where you are with this. Because if we can believe in our vision when it's not there yet, just think what you're capable of when it does come through. It's important that we believe, then it comes in. It's not like, oh, we believe after it comes in. The law of attraction pulls in what you believe, what you think about, see? So that's the way that works. Because we're part of this collective energy, now our soul's chosen to move through something here. And we may not be aware of that consciously, but what's our soul trying to learn and heal and grow through? This is going to help you discover what that is. This is bringing attention to something about that with the twos. Where is the harmony needs some work? Where does it need healing? What relationship here? Is it with yourself? Is it with how is it with the outside world? How is it with others? Do you see a repeating pattern that just doesn't ever work out, or is just not what you wanted? That's what you're looking at. Say you keep it, it's like, I don't want to keep attracting this kind of relationship. I want something different. That's going to come from your inner world. And once that inner world is there, now it will match the outer world. That's how is the inner world, or what you want, aligning. Because what we attract is what's coming from in here and what we believe, and we may not realize it. We may want such a different opposite thing, but look at how you're saying that. I wish life was different. I wish isn't saying it is, or I am. I am going to do something about it. Wishing is like, oh, I wish it would do this, but it probably won't. See, that just canceled everything out. Nothing's going anywhere. It's going to stay the same. So that's just to remind you of that. Events can come up that may challenge you on the soul contract part, because this is beyond just living in this lifetime. So if it's bringing something to your attention to heal, so if you see this energy coming in like, whoa, this is a cool energy for manifesting in harmony, it might shine a spotlight on where disharmony might be, or where a challenge is first, so you can find what you need to use the energy to shift. So don't see that as, oh, it's not positive. It's showing you where some things need some work and some healing, some attention, some love, some care. And self-care is going to be a very, very, very important part of this. Self-love, self-care. If it's not healthy, then how can you give out anything? It has to have something positive there. Sometimes it's hard to find a reason. Sometimes none of it makes sense why things happen in our lives. But they happen because that's what living in this world is. So we're not pretending that, oh, we're just going to think about this and it's going to be like pictured. No, no, no. That's not really realistic. Spiritual laws, sometimes we wish it could go there. Yeah. Who doesn't, right? We want something better, but we have to do the work. We have to grow and shift and change what our belief is, what our confidence is in ourself. So if you're seeing, let's go into some of this. So if you're seeing the number 2 pattern a lot, like 22 or 222 or 2222, and then we have the 6 2s coming up for the collective, okay? But what if you were seeing a lot of that? If you're seeing this number, it strengthens the message that the universe is asking us to think about. So if you're seeing a lot of 2 patterns, it's really going to be trying to get your attention into something. You may have the weirdest dreams. You might find that, what in the world, why does this keep happening? It's trying to get your attention. You have to look past the challenge to see what it's trying to show you. Look for a common denominator in the different things that are popping up. If it's asking you to think about how your inner world and outer world are connected, or feel disconnected, or wait, my inner world wants this, you may want something, but that may not be what is your inner world. Your inner world, remember, will be exactly what's reflecting out. It's very clear. This is actually one of the easiest tests you can do to see if you're on track. If you're working to manifest something different, and you're not getting in what you want, then there's something with the inner world that still needs work. It might be you're doubting it, something. Or it keeps canceling out, like, I want this, but I don't know if it'll ever happen for me. You know, that kind of thing. You're looking to tweak here, because the inner world will reflect out to the outer world. And as soon as that's in alignment with what you're trying to manifest, then it's going. It goes. Because you're taking action, you're believing in it, the whole thing. So when you see this, it's asking you to look at that. It's looking at, okay, how am I co-creating here? What could I do different? What's working, what's not working here? It can be a sign that it's time to create a deeper connection. Maybe it's maybe everything's been fine. Maybe it's trying to give you a sign like, hey, it's time for you to take these relationships to a different level, healthier, maybe more of a connection with the universe, your intuition, your higher self. It could be doing that. When you see them frequently, here's some really good questions. If you see a lot of twos, and we have the twos coming up, so we could look at this to see if it reflects to us or not, or as the collective, as a group. So these are some good questions you could ask yourself when you see them. So when you see the twos popping up a lot, what would you say you feel in that moment that you see them? Look to see, how would I describe how I feel right now? Just use a couple of words, maybe 3 or 4 words. What would you say you feel when you see them? Words can give you clues. The first ones that just feel the strongest. You know, what's the emotion? What do I feel? What am I feeling right now when I see that? What am I thinking about? What's happening in this moment? Very similar to when you see 1111. It's like, okay, what was I thinking about? What's going on here? So look at that. These words are clues. They can give you clues to where the energetic vibration and what's going on in the inner world. It could give you a clue as, hey, this is what's happening inside that you need to pay attention to. This is really kind of a lesson in hearing and listening to the universe and how it can work for you, with you, together. You're working as a co-creator here. There's no judgment. There's no being hard on yourself. You just want to observe it. You want to see what your inner world is doing or going on, what's happening there, without feeling like you have to go in and, you know, scold, be hard on yourself, things like that. If you see something, don't be hard on yourself because you have feelings. Feelings are great indicators as to what's going on. You don't want to be hard on them, even the ones that aren't good. Look at them and pay attention to them and acknowledge them like an observer. Just notice it. It gives you a clue as to what's going on. So here's another one. If you see a lot of twos, maybe it's, how can I create more harmony in a relationship in my outer world? Is there one that has a challenge? Is there one that needs some work? Is there one that's just not working? Now, this will also remind us that, you know, some will fall away or need to, that aren't going to be harmony at all. There's no harmony at all. Where can I find peace? Where can I find acceptance in my life? You know, these are questions you can ask when you see the twos. How can I align my inner world with what I want to see and attract in the outer world? Now we're working with law of attraction again here. Yeah. These are questions you want to ask when you see a lot of twos. This is something we would be working with when we see this 6-2 power code activate. That's what they call it. It's kind of like a power code activation portal type thing that you would see with this date coming up. That's how numerology works. So what is it about the feelings that you want to attract? What do you want to embody? How do you want to be? How do you want to feel? And what is actually happening? So these are things that we do with an inner world, and this coming toward us, these feelings, these words, these things that we're thinking about, because these numbers, if you're seeing them a lot repeatedly, you need to pay attention to that. I mean, why not? It's not going to cost you anything to pay attention and do a little self-reflection to see what's going on in there, what's happening. So it's like, another question would be, what is it that I desire in my life? What is it that I want to manifest? And how can I appreciate and harmonize with what I already have in my life? Maybe there's something that needs some attention. Maybe there's something that needs some nurturing. That's important too. We talked about that male-female energy that's going on right now last week within ourselves, and that full moon energy. I mean, that Venus-Mars thing is no joke. That's going to balance that. That's all going to work with this energy right now. This is all coming together at the same time. That's why this is such a really cool time till about the 1st of April. But especially on this February Tuesday, this is coming up next Tuesday now. How can I expand my awareness outside of myself and maybe just expand and see things from other perspectives? How can I see the side of a story differently? Maybe I don't agree with it, maybe it upsets me, but is there a way that I could expand to see different viewpoints? See, that's a collective thing to me, because we need a lot of that. We need to open up and start working to harmonize some relationships out there in the world. So I see that. So how can you create harmony, trust? How can you create friendship? How can you have healthier relationships? The number 2 is very powerful in that. So I'm going to talk a little bit now more specifically about Tuesday. Those were more personal, but also working about Tuesday. So let's talk about this energy of Tuesday coming up. Now, it's a lot of codes there. There's a lot of 2s. So we first had a code of 222 on February 2nd. So, and that strengthens that energy of number 2. So if the 222 is a power code number that's used for manifesting work, and we just had one on February 2nd, and we are aligning both our inner and outer worlds, we're working together with the power of the date. So you're working with the 2 energy, and then you're working with the intensity of the date. So that was the 2nd, right? So now we have it coming on February 22. Now that's going to have the strongest influence here on this 2. I mean, you don't see 6 2s, you don't see any number lined up that many times, really. That doesn't happen very often. No. There's 1 0 in that. Well, actually 2 zeros. No, 1 0. I'm sorry, that was on February 2nd. So we have 1 0 on February 22nd. We have 2022 for the year. So that 0 magnifies the numbers that's beside. That's a God energy kind of thing, like a universal number. It strengthens and magnifies the numbers that it is sitting beside, and it's sitting right between 2 2s. So you have all these 2s, and if it's the strongest influence day on that day, and you have this 2 energy that you keep seeing, or maybe you don't, maybe you just want to work with this energy, maybe you are a life path number 2 or something like that, how can you work with this? If it's the strongest, how can it help us draw into the collective reality what we want to do? This is about harmonizing collectively, all of us. On the 22, we have this number code, okay, that's really strong. The energy of 2 will be magnified a lot. We can't ignore the 0. No, we can't, because it represents infinite potential. You see, there's potential there. It makes it to where all things are possible. It reminds us that creativity, if we're co-creating, don't give up. There's potential. Anything's possible. It's kind of, that kind of energy. So if we're tapping into this to align, to manifest, to deepen our relationships, to remember that all things are possible with that 0 in there. What a great day. So if it's coming up now that's 6 2s in a number 6 year, because this is a number 6 year. So you're bringing that all together, and if you were to add that all up in numerology to do the math, it also holds the vibration of a number 3, and a number 3 is about mind, body, spirit balancing, connecting those together in order to feel whole. So we have a lot of stuff going on here with the universe that's really here to help us. This combines the powerful energy of the 2 with that 3 to create a day where manifesting, connecting with spirit, bringing healing to something is great. It's strong, it's magnified. It's going to be a great day. If there's any way possible for you to set aside time on your calendar on Tuesday, do it. Make it something. Do something with it. It would be a great day to, okay, I got to get my self-care in check here. I want to get my inner world working to where what I'm manifesting in my outer world, I want it to work with my harmony of my relationships. Now, if there's a lot of conflict with relationships for you, you really do need to do the inner work as well. because why is that all you see in your outer world? Remember, you have to go in to reflect out something different, because that's important. You don't just go trying to fix and it's about somebody else's fault. That won't work with this energy. You want to go in, see what you can do. And it may be that there's relationships that need to go away. That might be the case. It might be that, okay, if I work on this, those will fall away, and something that is more in alignment with what I've been trying to manifest will come through. You could have a little bit of both of that. So here's some ways to work with energy on Tuesday. Okay, you guys need to bookmark this one so you can re-listen to this or take some notes or something, because we're doing lots of stuff here. So we got number 2 here. Okay, so you want to set an intention. You want to set an intention for what you want to manifest in your life. What is it that you want to manifest? Set the intention. Set an intention for what you want for the whole world, because this is a collective day. So the energy is really for all of us. So you do what you want to do for yourself, what you want for the world. That would be a connecting there. Taking responsibility for what you are putting out into the world. What kind of energy are you putting out into the world? Look for that. What about your own truth? Have you found that? Do you want to find your own truth? Find your own truth with this whole concept here about connecting and creating a reality within yourself, together with another, with the world. How can you bring balance to your mind, body, and soul? These are all the things you want to be looking at, okay? What about the relationships and compassion? Is there compassion? Is there patience? Are you listening to one another? That kind of thing. I mean, there's a lot of opportunity here for a lot of healing in a lot of ways, and these are things that you will feel with the heart. This is heart energy, heartfelt. Feelings are from the heart chakra. That's how we process feelings. So how do you feel about nature and the environment? What do we do to respect it or not? Is there a way I could be more connected? I love nature. You know, I connect a lot with the spirit that way, through spirit animals, spirit guides, you know, the angels, things like that. How can I deepen my relationship with these beings? How can I deepen my relationship with and have that connection and respect and honor and be a participant to where I could help? If you are connecting with like-minded souls, that will help you feel a sense of community, which is what we do here in the show every week for those that join us for the live. This is a group. We have people that come in regularly, and we have a community here. We're all like-minded. We want to seek something deeper. We want to grow. And so that's what I mean. If you feel that in your personal life or personal relationships there isn't anybody you can connect with, you have communities that are like-minded. That would be your friendships. Those are relationships too. That's what we have here. Okay, that was a lot of information, but it was important. So I'm going to go over and say hello to everybody in chat and see how we're doing over there. So let's see. Hello, hello, hello. We have Journey to Becoming Me. Good to see you today. You're getting a lot of 3 energy. That's mind, body, soul tripled. Remember, that's mind, body, soul. That's also with angel numbers, it would be, you know, ascended masters maybe. You know, is there some of the ascended masters that you might feel that are around you? The 1111, lot of self. Like, what are we thinking about when you see that? What are you thinking about when you see the ones? You know, that's you want to keep that on what you want in positive ways. And hello to Megan. It's good to see you. Belinda, hello. Maddie. Lots of 2s, 3s, and 4s. Wow. Well, the 4s are, you know, if you think about a 4, it's an equal balance. If you were to do like usually that means like 4 equal. It also breaks down with 2s or adds with 2s. So that's kind of like all those 2s adding up to a 6. then you break it down. So 4s a lot of times are about balance, lots of balance. So you have 2s coming up. So balance, relationships with the self, the inner outer world for you, and then mind, body, soul. You have a little bit of all of it going on, but that makes sense with you because you're a multitasker. So, oh yes, I know you have been doing a lot of inner work. I can see that. Hello, Veronica. Let's see, inner world, I'm definitely now seeing it reflect in positive ways in your outer world. That's fantastic news for Maddie. Yay for Maddie. Big kudos. Because I know I've been seeing her journey, and she is tenacious, and she just does not give up. At the same time, sometimes she has to slow down, take a breath, and she knows that. But she's getting there, and I'm proud of you. I'm very proud of you. Congratulations that you're starting to see things shift. So remember, guys, when you start to see something in the outer world, go back to the inner world and look. And sometimes at the beginning, we're like, you know, it's kind of crazy, but that's the way you do it. Journey to becoming me, odd question, and maybe it is just a coincidence. But several times recently, dishes off kitchen counter keep randomly falling onto other dishes or on the floor. One slides all the way across the floor. Well, you have some, you might be having some loved ones say hi. Who was the cook? Or who was somebody about tidiness or something with the kitchen? Somebody about the kitchen. And that might be why. I know, and here's an example. Here's an example. When my father passed away, he was very strong with his messages that he was doing. I mean, he had an old ratty hat that he just threw right in the foyer floor just to let us know. And it had, how in the world did it get there? It was way somewhere else in the house. This was a tri-level house. So, yeah, and he throws that down, and I wasn't the one that witnessed it. I was told about it because that was my dad's house. But it was fascinating because it was like, how in the world did that get there? It wasn't even anywhere near the front door. And he just threw that down. You know, little interesting things like that will happen. Some people see pennies a lot, or dimes. Some people see certain things like that when they have a loved one saying hello. Now, breaking dishes, are they breaking or just falling? And are they particular dishes that someone used or liked or gave you? Things like that is what you're looking for. Any messages from the angels on this? I think they want your attention about something about balancing. Or are we going so fast? And here's the other thing that's popping up when you ask about angels. When I asked about that immediately, I'm getting the information of, if you go too fast, you don't stack the dishes well, and they're going to fall everywhere. If you're rushing around, things are going to be scrambled or fall. If you've been in this busy state, even though there's so many things to do, try to find a way to take a deep breath and go slower. Less accidents happen. Things like that. That's what I was picking up. I know. Crazy, right? The dishes are so... But the random falling or going across the floor, yeah, somebody's... It doesn't seem spooky. It seems more trying to get your attention about, hey, something with that energy there. It's heart of the home. Kitchens are heart of the home as well. And dishes are the food, the nurturing. Okay? We're looking for all the symbols here. But I'm seeing that you need to slow down and catch your breath. You might be going so fast that it's almost like you go so fast you put something on the table, but you don't sit it up straight, balanced, and then it falls over. That's what I keep coming back to. You're hearing me think out loud, and I'm looking at the whole energy of what I'm seeing when I visualize this kitchen with all these things moving around, and I'm seeing that there's a scattered energy that needs to slow down a little bit. And somebody's trying to let you know that because they love you. It's actually a good energy. Let me see here. Where were we? I'm trying to find out where I was. Okay. Relaxing meditations. Good morning to you. Guilt has been trying to get back into my mind. I've been asking angels to help, and they did. Awesome. Good for you. That's a self-care. Good point on the self-care. Okay, there's physical things we can do for self-care, guys. There's a lot. Did you realize that self-care has a lot of different areas? I mean, it's not just emotions. It's the psychological mindset we may have. It's our mindset. It's our perspective on life. It's physical. It's the food. It's all kinds of different areas. It's all of it. What are we in? What's our environment like? Self-care has a lot more facets to it than just, oh, I eat well and exercise. Do you take time out for yourself? Things like that. Look at it. Let's see, where are we? And I'm glad to see that they're helping and it's lightening up, because good. Guilt is an energy that will just keep you down, and you have to let it go. You're not who you were in the past with whatever you might be feeling that with. It's a forgiveness of self. Megan, does the number 2 also represent feminine energy and 1s represent masculine? Yes, when you're looking at chakras. So for example, chakra 1 is considered a masculine. Chakra 2 is the feminine. Chakra 3 would be masculine. It keeps reverting. 4 would be the heart chakra. That's feminine. 5, masculine. 6, feminine. See, it keeps doing that back and forth with chakras as well. So yes, it does have an aspect of that. But you also are looking at, if you're seeing 2s a lot, maybe you do want to work with feminine energy. That would go with what we were talking about last week, where the Mars-Venus is reminding us of where's the yin and yang between it, where's the balance within ourselves with those energies within ourselves, because we all have both. Everybody has both. No matter what your gender is, you have both. But we talked about that last week. The whole show was about that. But that is definitely, I feel like the puzzle pieces of my career. All right, she's still going here. I feel like the puzzle pieces of my career up in the air right now, and they're going to land in a new harmonious way. Do the angels have any guidance? Yeah, I'm seeing immediately reading that, because I'm tapping in when I read something like that, and I'm hooking in here. I see that it's more like, it's okay. You're coming to a crossroads, and you're going to have to turn a corner and take the things that you've learned, and you're going to build on them in a different direction. If anything, everybody's feeling that right now. I mean, this is a very revolutionary time where so much is changing so fast, whether it's, you know, a lot of technology. It's just changing so fast. It's like trying to keep up. But yes, we're all going to feel that a little bit. But yes, you're tweaking and updating. It's kind of like, I need to do an update on my software. That's what this is for you. It's taking what you have and doing an update to refresh it, to bring it up to where a current trend would work better for you. Is that making sense? I hope so. Because I think that a lot of us are feeling that in a lot of ways. I know I am. I'll have a plan, and then I got to change it again and again and again and again. And then, oh, well, that used to work. Why doesn't it work now? You know, that kind of thing. But this is about tweaking and adjusting and listening to, what are you thinking about all the time, nonstop? I feel that too. So look at that. Lots of 5s for Belinda. That's a major, lots of changes coming in. 5s are the number of change. It's right in the middle between, you know, the 0 and the 10, you know, like 0 to 9. But number 5 represents the energy of change. As it's magnified like that, though, there's a lot of big changes. That doesn't mean bad changes, but some of them could feel challenging if you don't like change. But there's changes for you. It's also trying to get your attention. Hey, it's time to make a big change in my life. Have you been wanting to make a change? I'm seeing, that one just is popping in really strong. Like, hey, how about we make some big change and do something completely different? Sometimes, guys, when we see the 5s like that, it means we're looking at, maybe it's just doing what we are already doing differently. It's sometimes that way, and sometimes it's completely changing course. I kept seeing an elbow like turn, like for, you know, that kind of a sharp, like you come to a stop sign and you go left or right. That's what I was seeing when I was answering Megan about making a change or a shift. It's like, I got this. And you've got, like, if your car and you represented you and your knowledge and all the gifts that you have collected along your journey, instead of going straight through in the same path, it's like you're going to go a different direction with what you have. That's what I was seeing. And that's going to apply here a lot, even with the 5s. I see a lot of 3s and 4s. Rhonda sees a lot of, where is that? Boy, it's jumping a little bit. Sorry, guys. Seeing a lot of 3s and 4s. Mind, body, soul, and balance. Number 3, mind, body, soul. Bringing your attention to your physical. You have your beliefs and your mindset and your energy there. And you have a spirit and a soul. They want to work together when you see a lot of 3s. They don't want to be separate. They don't want to be one's more important than the other. A whole person is mind, body, soul. A whole complete person. When we get a lot of 3s, it's reminding us that maybe that area needs balancing. If we're only spiritual and we're not doing anything about the physical or the mindset, that might be what that is. It could be the opposite. It's like, hey, it's time for the spiritual awakening to come in. It just depends on which part is out of balance. The 4s are bring balance to mind, body, soul is what I'm seeing here. Also, a lot of 4s are angel messages that you are loved and supported and they are with you. Keep that in mind. Let's see. Maddie, I've definitely been focusing on a lot of balance as I begin to take on more projects and commitments. Do they have any advice about maintaining a healthy balance at this time and sustaining it? Yes. Yes. You have to have a day where you don't do anything. I know. I can't even imagine you doing that. Where you just, if you don't want to do anything, you don't. You need a day where you just, that's why I put the self-care plan together, guys. It's got 8 different areas of life in it. It's got worksheets, it's got a plan, and it's going to help you come up with what you need to balance your life. That's why I did put a lot of time into that one. So go look and read about it, and then you'll see what I'm talking about. It goes through all these different areas, and you'll see. But I'm not trying to send you there to just buy something. It is there for those that want it, and if you're on my email list, I sent out discount coupon there if you want it. But people on my email list get privileged to that. That's just something I like to do because you're on my list, okay? And I appreciate that. I will have that coupon good till the end of February. So if you want to get on the list, that coupon will be coming out again. But I wanted you to let everybody know that that's why I put that out there. So but yeah, you need a day where you're not trying to figure something out because you're always figuring something out. That's what you can do to balance that. Where are we? Oh, here we go. No breaking dishes. That's good. No breaking dishes. Okay, that was Journey to Becoming with the dishes. That's interesting with the dishes. You tested, okay, Belinda tested positive for COVID. Definitely prayers for you. Make sure you're taking care of your body. Give it your nutrients, your supplements, whatever it needs that you just take care of you. You are priority right now, and we are sending definitely a lot of prayers, and I hope that it is a very, very, very mild and quick case for you. Please let us know how you're doing. Sometimes stress is the issue. Stress can be one of the things that depletes our immune system the worst. So that's coming up a little bit as I read that for you. Belinda, this is a time to slow down and just make sure you're doing what you need to do for you and tune out the rest of everything that causes any of that for you. And definitely sending you prayers and love. Sending you a boost of good healing energy, asking Raphael to reach out, and all you got to do is say, yes, please come help me. And let's see what we got with that. I want to make sure you have that. Journey to Becoming Me. It wasn't spooky at all. Oh, this is the dishes. But it kind of made me laugh. I've been going busy and actually came down with sinus infection that forced me to sleep most of the day. All makes sense. Okay. Okay. See, Now, another thing when you're looking at metaphysics, when we have physical things happen, or sinus or congestion or allergies and stuff, that's sometimes trying to tell us, you need to slow down and stop. Our body will tell us. It'll say, hey, you need to slow down. You need to slow down and take a break. So instead of, I mean, think about it back in the day, in the old days, and I mean, really in the last couple of years, that's really changed with all this crazy pandemic stuff. But it would be go to work anyway if you're sick. I never did understand that, but that was that, you know, and it was like push, push, push instead of stopping, and our body's just trying to tell us to stop, slow down, take care of yourself. Self-care is popping up a lot for the whole collective here, I think. Yes. Let's see, where am I on time? Rhonda, do angels have any message for me? I see a lot of 3s and 4s. Yes, I think I did answer that one, I thought. Okay, sorry. I'm going backwards here. Definitely thinking about a change. That's all the 5s. Belinda, good for you. Good for you. Yeah, start sorting that out. One thing at a time, don't overwhelm. And Maddie, thanks, Jen. It definitely takes focused attention to take a break from trying to figure things out, but I know it's important. And this will be probably where you are in the journey. Practicing stopping and just being is really hard for a very busy world. That's where meditation, some people go, I can't meditate, I can't sit still like that, I can't stop. My mind just constantly goes. That's a practice meditation does help with, and sometimes we have to just kind of go at a time. It's not just sit there and just suffer through meditation. You know, sometimes those active meditations, doing something while you're letting your mind just brain dump, can help you get started. And you've heard all that before. I'm sharing that as a general for everybody listening to the show. But, you know, the mind trying to slow down in a world that wants it to keep going faster and take on even more and just go, go, go and never stop. Eventually, that's just going to exhaust and just everything goes blah. So when we need to stop and slow down, please, please, please do that for yourself. Guys, totally care that you guys know that a balanced, healthy life is not just about, it's everything. It's sleep, it's nutrition, it's stress balance, it's taking time to have fun. That's part of self-care. If you don't have any of that in there, you got to put it in. It's about your nutrition, it's about exercise, it's about activity, it's about relationships, it's about all of it. All these 2s are coming in to remind us all as individuals, what do we need to balance, or what do we need to work on here and heal? The whole year is a healing theme, so make the most of it. This one's going to help bring attention to what you might need to balance in your inner world, so your outer world is bringing that in check for you. For those that are dealing with anything that is really tough right now, I want to send a big prayer and a big boost of support and love and energy to you. Know that you are worthy of healing, happiness, success. Everybody is. But in order to find that, we have to go in and clean up what might be out of whack. And so you're looking at what your inner world is reflecting to you. Remember that. Make sure you bookmark this. We went over quite a bit on how you could work with these numbers, and this is the number 2s coming up for Tuesday. It's a 6 powerhouse day with numerology, and this is a time right now with all the energies that are aligned that we can really get, okay, that's what I want, that's what I don't want. This is the way I want to set it up, get it organized. You want to have a plan of how you're going to move forward. Like, how am I going to move forward? I can't keep going the same way. So that's where you want to reflect a little bit with this. That's where you want to go in and see what you can do with it. And even if you have the slightest doubt of yourself, that's where I would start. Because you've got to believe in yourself. And you've got to know that you're worthy and that you're part of this universe and that everybody deserves the best. Everybody deserves the opportunities to do what they came here to do. But remember, we're learning too. So don't be hard on yourself when it's challenging. Just know it's trying to show you something that needs to be learned or improved, however you want to say that. I know I'm working with it constantly too. And I have had a week of that in the last week. You don't even want to hear about that. That's been a crazy week here for us. But I'm here. I'm here, and I love each and every one of you. And I wish you much love, happiness, and success as you take the journey through the 2 energy, as you work on your self-care and your self-love, as you work on manifesting and tweaking your inner world so that your outer world matches what you really do want in your heart. Thanks so much for joining us today. I wish each and every one of you a wonderful weekend, and we will see you next time here on the Jenn Royster Show. Namaste.
You've been listening to The Jenn Royster Show, intuitive guidance to inspire your life. Dr. Jenn Royster is an internationally known intuitive counselor, spiritual teacher, and energy healer. Imagine having the ability to use your innate positive energy to dissolve the stuckness in your life, whether it's emotional, physical, or spiritual, through this incredible dynamic show. If you've missed any part of this show or any other show, visit www.jenn